My name is Bode, and I am 7. I'm here to tell you about the flood.
I have one brother and one sister.
So, I don't know why my dad woke me up the first place. So, he woke me up. He said there's a flood in the front yard. And I'm like, really? And he just gets me out of bed. We took a Jeep, and right when we were about to hit the road, we started floating down. This is Aria, my little sister. She in the back of the car was saying to Mom, "I'm holding on, Mom, I'm holding on."
It was a little scary. I was like, close the door, and I was holding on to something, and it was really scary, so scary to me that I wanted my dad to carry me.
I thought it was awesome until my mom said, "Bode, this is not awesome." But instead I said, "This is a great experience though." And we all went up to Rattlesnake Ridge, which is over this house, and we peered down into the house. There was a bunch of white water in our front yard. It's so cool how the river jumped on the little curve and came rushing through our front yard. I was just thinking that's sort of cool, of the force of nature. Well, I had a peek at the classroom. It had water in it, and I had a peek in my mom's bedroom, and it had water in it. The play structure got destroyed, so we took a couple shovels to get some muck out.
They digged out my playhouse.
Yeah.
They saved it?
Uh-huh.
Did they save the kitchen in there too?
Mm-hmm.
They did? Are you happy about that?
Thank you for helping our house.
There's 2 stories. I mean,
That's
I think
right.
there's one that's completely been devastating and chaotic and scary.
It had been raining for a week solid, and the first phone call we got was at 11:45, and my buddy Corwin called from El Dorado Canyon, and he said, "You're going to be evacuating tonight." And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know about that." He said, "I'm telling you, there's never been anything like this before." I went back out to the river. It was still in the river, and I thought, well, it doesn't look that bad. So anyway, I came on in and went to bed.
I was just laying in bed going, I should go to the river. And then I kept saying to myself, no, that's crazy. Parker was just there. It's okay. But I could not sleep.
At 2 o'clock, the phone rang. It was a good friend of ours, John King, up the river, who lives right on the river, and he had evacuated, and he called and he said, "Look, you got to get out of there. The river's coming up." So I turned on the floodlights, looked in the backyard, and sure enough, there was about an inch of water all the way up to the house, covering the patio. But there was nothing torrential. There was no alarm. I didn't think, well, oh my gosh, we have to evacuate this second.
We didn't know, so we got up and started moving stuff
So we started
up.
moving stuff from the low part of the house. We didn't wake the kids up, and then the phone started ringing.
Not long after that, our neighbor John came banging on the door. You guys got to get out now. And we're like, it's okay, we're looking here. He said, no, it's in the front yard. The river had jumped out of the bed and come all the way up the river valley.
When we came off the front porch here, it was already to the top of our legs, and the water went all the way across the valley floor, and which was impossible, right? Because the river's in the backyard. So it was totally disorienting, and we didn't get it until that moment.
I'm in my nightgown and my black mud boots. We get Bode. You've got Yaya over your shoulder. I've got our 9-month-old baby in my backpack. We're wading out to the car.
And I'm in my pajama pants and my flip-flops.
We get to the car. I'm like honking the horn for Parker to come. And he gets out, gets in the car, puts it in reverse, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. The water's already coming up to the wheel well, up to the floorboard of the car. I backed out, I turned, and then we looked down where the driveway used to be, but it's all river, and it's white water about 2/3 the way down the driveway. That's the only way out, and we're an island now, and the river's behind us, and we're in it to try to get out of the valley, and we got 2/3 down the driveway, and the Jeep was picked up by the river, and we're sitting there in total terror as I realize the wheels aren't touching the ground anymore. And you're going sideways, and fortunately the wheels hit the yard, and we caught the ground, and I pulled it up, and we got up onto the road, which was still 18 inches to 2 feet underwater. So we just drove on what we knew to be the road bed and found dry ground, and we got out of there. The river had busted the bank on the south side of town. The roads going out on either side were all washed out. So we were an island for, I guess, 4 days. We thought this house was toast. On Thursday, I got up on the cliffs up above here and looked down, and it looked like the Mississippi River. I mean, the whole valley, from valley wall to valley wall, was 3 to 5 feet deep and running hard. And, you know, the bottom half of our house got flooded out bad, and the top half, you know, more or less stayed dry. It got flooded from underneath and got the floorboards and the floors wet.
Bode
That's right.
has been like the one who through it all has been like, this is the most incredible experience, Mom.
You got the big heavy equipment out here, and we are
Clearing
debris and muck and lots of rocks and mud. The less flattering work, the really digging out and getting our hands dirty deep for days, and you guys have been great. You know, I had come out, I'd never heard of Christ in Action, and when I heard the name Christ in Action, I smiled and laughed and just thought, well, my grandmother would love that. My dad's mom, Nanny, her favorite expression was, the only hands God has are our hands. And her other expression was, you shall know them by their fruits. I pulled in the driveway, saw the Christ in Action, and I said, boy, Nanny would love this. Well, not 4 hours later, one of your volunteers hands me these 2 Home Depot cards and this Barnes & Noble card and this little bubble wrap thing. And so I just threw it all in my car and on the front seat. And then I was driving home, and I opened up the bubble wrap to see what was in there, and it was my grandmother. I didn't even know we had this. This is a Christmas tree ornament that never got out of its bubble wrap, that my mom had given us, that was in some Christmas box that must have been in the rubble pile. That anyway, I called my mom, took a picture, sent it to her, and said, where did this come from? She says, oh, I gave this to you guys for Christmas last year. The support and the volunteer help has been overwhelming, and we are so appreciative for the Christ in Action people, so thank you so much. You guys have been spectacular.
On the other side, there's this whole amazing world where we're meeting all these new people, and the volunteers are showing up, and you see so much hope and so much beauty and so much love and spirit coming together. And
it has brought a sobering grace to the commonality of what we all share, and that has been beautiful. In spite of all of this, we consider ourselves very fortunate.